on this computer. There we go. So let's get started. Hi, everybody. How are we doing today? Okay.
Good.
That was pathetic.
I said awesome while on mute.
Yeah, awesome. All right, mute works in a pinch. I'm totally fine with that. We have a guest coming in as well, so it'll be nice to meet Ross. I know him. I believe Marcel knows him. We're going to go ahead and get started. Actually, yeah, we'll do commercials in just a minute. So while Ross's stuff is connecting, I'm going to share screen really quickly. Hi, Ross. Good to see you. We're going to do introductions in just a minute. So thanks for joining us today. As always, Zoom still makes you fuddle through 20,000 steps. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. Again, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today at DigitalPNA. This is your online version of the PNA Northwest community. We not just market to the entire Pacific Northwest versus just one zip code, one physical location. We're 100% Zoom, 100% digital, all the time to develop what Marcel coined with her business, the developing digital you concept, the digital Bob, digital Karen, digital Jim, because again, he's much more younger and attractive than Ricardo, and now the digital Ross. So we're gonna have a good meeting today. Again, we'll have two people that'll show up a bit late. That's okay, we'll haze them when they come in. I am your El Presidente. No special handshakes or salutes necessary, but any chance I could see my big bobblehead here, I terrify people. Well, you know, I will. This is what our membership queue looks like right now. It's growing. It actually shrank a bit as well. There's a couple people that have opted not to renew, and that's fine. They're either off being too busy, which is a great problem to have, or I just haven't heard from them. So at some point, I just kind of have to cut the tether for the time being. But we are a sizable group, and those $100 signs are simply because I run the only networking organization that I know of in the country that heavily incentivizes people to bring in folks, whether that's to a brick and mortar location or to the physical, I should say the non-physical, whatever, version of DigitalPNA. If a member joins this digital community, if they choose to become a wow, so glad we're recording this. Choose to become part of DigitalPNA. I will pay you $100 for that referral. I really, really appreciate it. It only benefits, well, you from the moolah perspective, but it benefits all of us as well, not just from the digital, but in a share perspective, but also the resources, the experience, or even lack of knowledge, right? Because then they might become an opportunity for some of us to earn income by taking care of that new member. So I will do that. If you know people, then definitely send them my way. All I need is an introduction. Looking for some volunteers this week. Love to have someone. I don't need to go through this, number by number. We're all adults, or at least a few of us. You can read what the role is. Love to have somebody raise their hand and be a photographer today to snag a photo, something fun like that. Bob, okay. Thank you, sir. Tracker just listens to stuff, right? We all have our ears that work, but listens to specific things. Maybe someone number drops. Maybe they rattle off X amount of quotes that we think are neat that we could use. Marcel, you're going to do that, okay? Doodler. Someone want to doodle? It's literally just have some fun. You see something during the meeting, you have a scrap of paper, you want to doodle what Bob looks like in a pencil sketch, or me, or something that Karen, our speaker today, will bring up on the screen. Feel free to do like a screenshot in a doodle. Anyone want to do that? Okay, Marcel's going to double tag team. Okay, all right, she wants to do that. I'm going to handle the timer, and of course, it is being recorded today, so don't worry about that. We'll just go ahead and leave that to, well, me, basically, because we're recording this, and I go back through it after the stuff. So we're going to do member commercials now, and of course, guest commercials. Looking forward to having everybody get introduced to Ross. Think about something to bring to the table, right? Something that separates you from your competition. Maybe even during the commercial, you want to mention a specific website page, a social media page, a video. You could drop it into the chat channel. Something you want us to share to our network, because the big part of DigitalPNA is the digital part. It's how can we help syndicate each other's message, get things out and about? Because again, we don't just market in this group to the Pacific Northwest versus one particular zip code, but we also have someone like Karen who's in Arizona now. We have Lynette when she's here. She's in Idaho. And there's, again, still smattering of interest from a few other states. People I'm hoping will get onto these calls during 2023. And again, expand our network above and beyond the average marketing technique. So drop a commercial, but at the same time, I want to scare folks for a second. Everyone look at the screen. Marcel, I'm talking to you. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my gosh. What scares you most about producing video? Work this into your presentation. Are you scared of it? I mean, do you think of it like something horrible? People are afraid of public speaking more than spiders, more than death, more than taxes. Yes, here we see ouchie leggy sticks and murder chiefs, okay? But I want you to get comfortable with video. Can we get you to think not about this, but this? Can you think of video like big, soft, blinky, adorable eye nodules, bunny soft, furry goodness, and little cutesy, teensy footy pads? I'm just a big child, people. Roll with this, okay? I'm just trying to have fun. I want you to think and maybe work into your commercial. Are you afraid of video, or have you embraced it? And are you starting to use it in your business, okay? Okay. Is this thing on? I hope so. So let's go ahead and start around the digital room here. I'm going to pick on Karen first because she's our speaker. So she can work in the tangent about her usage or non-usage of video. Why is she maybe scared more than spiders? And then we'll listen to her speak later.
All right, I'm Karen Koenig with KK Financial Solutions, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that when I do my presentation. But I started my business in May of 2021. And then in December moved to Arizona. So now I'm in sunny Arizona. I use video a lot. My old Instagram page got hacked and I had like 500 plus followers. And I used lots of videos on my reels. So I'm going to put in the chat my new Instagram handle. So I would love you guys to follow me on my new Instagram. And you'll see more reels on that Instagram to come because you can go to the old page, but I don't own that page anymore, even though it's still there. So Karen Koenig with KK Financial Solutions.
Excellent, Karen. Thank you. Let's try to go boy, girl, as much as possible. Jim, you're up next. Let's hear from you, representing Ricardo.
All right, I'm here in place of Ricardo, our franchise owner here at the Expedia Cruises down in Mill Creek. And I'm one of the independent agents that are connected to this office. I'm having a blast working with folk day by day in regard to vacation opportunities. So I like to use the idea that my goal is to help you get on your vacation from your door back to your door and make that as seamless as possible. So we are full service down here, but personally, I like to focus on cruising and luxury cruising and groups. And so if you want to put a group together for any purpose at all, whether you're a business or another network that you're in, because we already got one for this network coming up, I'm hopefully your guy, or Ricardo's your guy. So we're glad to do it. So anyway, Jim, Expedia Cruises.
Jim, thanks. Appreciate it. Marcel, you're up.
Okay, so hey everyone, I'm Marcel with Dreamosity, and Dreamosity is a social media management and training company where I love to help people navigate the wonderful world of the internet. And one of the things, ironically, that I fear is the fact that I talk at a level that is beyond a lot of people. Just yesterday, someone's like, Marcel, you talking a PhD level? Will you slow down? It's like, crap. And my challenge is I know a lot, and if I go too fast, people don't get it. And so I have a lot of things I have to either re-explain, and that's my fear. It's like I have so much I want to say, and part of me just wants to go fast. But apparently people want me to slow down. So I do my best to talk fast and slow on video. Like Karen, I'm on Reels on Instagram, and I just had one crazy video hit 1,000 views. And part of me is like, how did this 7-second of almost nothing information do so well? It was the music, right? So music is good. Anyway, having fun with that. And my commercial point today was supposed to be is the room you're in, are they talking about the types of data do you want to be making regarding the revenue ringlet? So some rooms you talk about, people are talking about, oh, can I borrow $20? Can I borrow $100? Like, I'm not sure if I can afford this meal. And sometimes people are like, hey, my launch just made $20,000. I'm winning, right? So I'm looking to create a space where people can talk about revenue in a safe and awesome place. So visit the revenue ringlet. It's $800, one-time lifetime payment. And I'm excited to get people in there and train them up more about social media and how influencers can experience financial joy. So stay tuned and stay well.
Awesome. Marcel, thanks so much. Bob, let's hear from you, and then Ross.
So good morning or good afternoon. We're 11 minutes after 12 noon. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bob Wolverton. My company is Top Tier Leadership Training, and that is the logo that was created by our own Brian Trendler. I love that logo. I am a leadership trainer with a master's degree in leadership and decades of successful experience. Matter of fact, the other day I calculated I've actually done presentations for over 750 organizations. I have a deep understanding of what it takes to be a strong and effective leader, and obviously a proven track record of helping individuals and organizations develop the skills and strategies they need to thrive in today's dynamic business environment. Whether you're looking to improve your own leadership capabilities or those of your team, I can provide the guidance and support you need to reach your goals. I can help you become the leader that you want or your team to aspire to be, and to make a positive impact on your career and community. Regarding video, I have no fear of video. Spiders, another story. I just made a video yesterday, and I had this idea where I wanted to, when I put up a document on the screen, I wanted to be minimized down in the corner, the little talking head, but I wanted the letter D, a capital D, in reverse. In the border of that, I wanted it to be animated. I wanted it to be a video of its own, just have a little movement around my talking head. So I thought, I've got an idea and I think I know how to do it. And I pulled it off, posted the video a couple hours ago. The only setback with video is the time, like Brian was talking about in the green room before we started the meeting, the time that it takes to edit the video. Yeah. It can absorb a lot of your time. That's the part I hate, but I love doing the videos. I love creating them, editing them, and putting them online.
Awesome. Bob, thank you. Ross, your turn. Welcome. Thanks for visiting today.
Thank you, sir. A little bit of karaoke for I don't like spiders and snakes to bring in the topic. The one thing I do like about spiders is that many of them are better looking than I am, which addresses my fear of video. The whole idea behind marketing is attraction, not necessarily scaring people off with different looking faces, shall we say. So I'm enjoying Bob's idea around the small talking head off in the corner. I think I could manage that, make the content more important than me, because my business tools are more important than me. Regardless of what you do, if you do it online, have you ever had frustration with online business tools? If you have, please find me and friend me on Facebook. I have tools that work, stay consistent in your investment, and will reward you for referring folks. My link for Facebook is in the chat. My name is Ross Merker. Thank you very much.
All right, Ross, thanks. And once again, appreciate you joining us today. All right, so my name is Brian Trendler. Most of you know I own PNA Northwest, and I'm thrilled to be part of this digital portion, which was really the inception and brainchild. And let's face it, she can take me in a fight. So Marcel said, let's make a digital PNA, and I said, oh, okay. And here we are, a year and a few months later. Actually, just a year and a month, either way. I also co-own Laugh Tech, ironically, with her as well. We just have fun, folks. We are educational based trainers from the speaking perspective. We often call ourselves engagement trainers. We say speech coaches. We also say humor enthusiasts. And people still look at us and go, oh, okay. It's not because we're not doing our job well. It's because people don't always think that you can improve how you deliver your message every single time you give it, whether it's on the phone, whether it's face-to-face, or whether it's in this 16:9 digital environment that so many of us have become accustomed to. It's not just the spoken word, it's how you carry yourself. Are you an uptime? Are you in front of the camera? Or are you drooping down and looking uninterested? Are you looking from side to side? Are you distracted? Are you using simple tones in your voice that either dissuade people from wanting to pay attention, or are you grabbing their attention to make sure that your message is even better and bigger maybe than it actually is, right? Sales are sales. We can help people with that, whether it's face-to-face, in this digital world, over Zoom trainings. We also love being called into offices anywhere in the Pacific Northwest, or we'll travel to get in front of the people that you want to have impacted, hopefully inspired. So if you know people that suffer from overwhelm, from their message just not getting across, we'd love to hear from them. When it comes to tangent, really quickly, I believe it or not, I'm a lot like Ross. I don't have the best self-image, even though I like to put myself out on a regular basis as an auctioneer, an MC, whatever. It doesn't always mean I wake up and like who's in the mirror. I do have that fear, that hesitation when it comes to being on video, although ironically, I'm on video right now. But the whole point is I don't often create a lot of videos anymore. I'm really trying to get back into it. Marcel and I are combining our efforts for a lot of projects in 2023 for Laugh Tech and beyond. There's any number of places that I can go, I just need to. So I'm more the fangy version of the spider right now. I'm still a bit afraid that people will want to listen to the message that I have to bring across. So hopefully I'll get over that. Okay. Thank you everybody for participating in that. I had fun. Hopefully you did too. I'm going to bring up the screen again, jump off the spiders. Boom. Boom. Our next screen gets to introduce our amazing presenter today, Karen Koenig. And she is no longer a Washingtonian. She exported herself way the heck over to Arizona, where it's hotter than heckers. You're stepping on scorpions all over the place, and who knows what else. But I'm looking forward to hearing about your message today. Will you need to share screens?
Yes.
Okay. So I will have this information available later. We'll also ask you to put your contact information in the chat screen. I just like seeing you all spiffed up here in your beautiful branding. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off this screen and just ask you one or two quick questions about you and your company. And then you have up to 20 minutes to give your presentation. So of course, you don't have to use that time, all of it, I should say. I am planning on giving you the 10-minute yellow light and then the 19-minute red light, unless again, you tell me you don't want to speak for that entire time. You can just wrap up whenever you're comfortable. Karen, give us your favorite type of client in 10 seconds or less. Watch the hands.
My favorite type of client is someone who actually adheres to my advice.
Oh, good job. Someone who's coachable and listens and doesn't question the master. Okay. Karen, also, before you start in your presentation, give us an idea of the craziest client you've ever had to deal with. This is a curveball. Something that just completely caught you out from left field, just off guard.
Yeah, I had a client that he decided one day that he wanted to do day trading, and he was trying to do it with me. So he would go sell coins, get cash, turn it into a cashier's check, bring it to me, and then tell me to buy stock. And then he'd call me a week later and say, I want to sell that. It's like, okay, I'm not a day trader. It's costing you more money to place trades with me than doing that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So really quickly, I'm going to make you a co-host.
Oh, and he was like 83 years old. Sorry. It doesn't make any sense if you don't know how old he was.
That's even crazier. Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, what? Sorry, Jim, what? Oh, he's on mute. Karen, I'm going to make you host because for some reason the co-host function isn't functioning. Okay. So just give it back later. You're good to go whenever you're ready.
Okay, let's see. Okay, let me make sure I go to the right screen. Okay. So like I said, I'm Karen Koenig with KK Financial Solutions. I didn't tell you exactly what that is, but I am a licensed financial advisor and I do financial planning. I also sell insurance, long-term care, life insurance, and annuities, as long as that's right for the client. So I always forget to talk about that part of it. But I've been in business since 2015. I worked for a large firm prior to May of 2021 when I went independent. What does that mean exactly? I don't have the oversight of a great big huge company anymore. I get control of my own commissions. I'm a 1099. And I work for a company called Union Capital, who's actually based out of Tucson. And then the platform where we do trading is through RBC. So I have access to that, but I just don't have a big company that I'm working as a W-2 employee for anymore. A little bit more about me. I was 26 years in the military. I retired as a major and in 2013, and then I worked for Boeing for about 6 years as a project manager, and then decided when I was 49 that I wanted to do a different career, and in my mind thought I needed to do it prior to 50. So that's why I became a financial advisor. So I've been doing that for several years. I'm also a published author. I wrote the book, upper left-hand corner, Woman on Top, How to Win in a Woman's Way. And it just tells a journey about me going through the military, working for corporate America, and then working in the financial industry, and how those are all male-dominated fields, and then what I got out of that. So the rest of this is kind of a busy slide, but it tells I've been published in a couple of magazines. I've been on a few radio shows, and I've been on some podcasts. So what I'm going to talk about today is different ways to invest your money. Now, I know a lot of you know about a lot of this stuff, but I'm going to go a little deeper on it. And then if you have questions later, you can ask me. But the first one is you can invest, obviously, in a traditional IRA. So what is that? That's tax deferred, which means you pay for it with before taxes on earnings and contributions. So it's all tax deferred until you decide to take distributions. You have to take distributions at age 72. Once you turn age 72, they don't want you to grow it anymore, and you have to start taking money off of it. Now, you can start taking out of it at 59.5 if you want to, but you are allowed to continue to put money into a traditional IRA up until you're age 72, as long as you are putting earned income into it. So the limits for an IRA in 2022 was $6,000. They upped the limit for 2023. That's probably what you don't know. It's now $6,500 for 2023. And then if you're age 50 or older, you can do a $1,000 catch-up contribution. They did not change that. That's always been $1,000. And one tidbit, or one thing that people don't know about traditional IRAs, is you can take up to $10,000 from your IRA for a down payment on a house. So if people are short on cash for a down payment, or just don't have the cash on hand, you can take that for a down payment and not have to pay the 10% penalty, and you don't have to be 59.5. And just so you know, that's for first-time home buyers. However, by law, you're considered a first-time home buyer every 2 to 3 years, depending on the state that you live in. So you could take multiple withdrawals from that for down payments on house. All right. The second one is the Roth IRA, and this is a way to save with after-tax dollar contributions. So you would pay taxes on the money, then send it over to your Roth IRA. And what's the advantage? This stuff grows tax-free. So any withdrawals are tax-free and penalty-free after age 59.5. Now, a lot of people say, well, wait a minute, I've taken money out of my Roth and I wasn't 59.5. Well, any of your contributions, which is considered your cost basis, you can take out of a Roth without any penalty. It's just the gains that you can't take out prior to age 59.5. 2022 limits were $6,000 for that as well. In 2023, it'll be $6,500. Catch-up contribution is also $1,000 for those over 50. The biggest question I get from people is, can I put $66,000 in the traditional IRA and a Roth? No, it's $6,000 total, or $6,500 total for this year. You could do $3,000 in one, $3,500 in the other. You could do $2,000 in one, $4,500 in the other. It's just you can't do more than $6,500 for 2023 between the two. Other types of accounts that people have, they're called individual accounts or brokerage accounts. You've probably heard the word brokerage. This is a taxable account. So anything that goes inside of it is taxable. So your gains are taxable, the withdrawals are taxable. well, the withdrawals are not taxable. It's the gains that are taxable. So it's kind of like a super savings account is what I like to call it. You have access to just as many investments as you do for the traditional IRAs and Roths, but a lot of people like to put stocks and those types of things inside of an individual brokerage account because you can do what's called margin. You can take margin loans. You've probably heard of that before, where you can borrow against the stock that you own. So if you had $10,000 in your brokerage account, you can borrow up to $5,000 on margin. And then what you do is you pay interest back to whatever company that gave you the margin loan. So if you took a margin loan with RBC, I think their rate right now is at 7%. It's pretty high. You pay that back. So it's like taking a loan is what you're doing. And what you can do is, why do people open brokerage accounts? A, because they may have like some extra cash in a savings account that they want to be able to make some money on. So they'll open up a brokerage account for that. Or they'll open, let's say they take a distribution out of their IRA because they have to, they're over 72, but they don't need the money. So what they'll do is they'll take the distribution and dump it straight into a brokerage account, and then they can continue to invest it. So there's a couple of ways that you can use that. So then here's one that I know you've heard about too, is 401ks. And the advantage of 401ks is usually large companies do 401ks because you can do salary deferrals. So that's where, let's say you tell the company you want to take 10% out of your paycheck. So they take 10% out of your paycheck before taxes. So what happens is that is excluded from your taxable income. So if you put $6,000 of your annual pay into a 401k, then you reduce your adjusted gross income for that year. So you pay less than what you would if you didn't put any deferrals. Most 401ks have loan provisions. So what you're doing is basically taking a loan against the money in your 401k and paying it back to yourself. And usually there's little or no interest on that, as long as it's all decided by the 401k plan. So why do people do 401ks? Because the limits are way higher. So in 2022, you were able to put $20,500 into a 401k. In 2023, they've increased it by $2,000, so you can do up to $22,500. And then the catch-up contributions for 401ks are even more. It's $6,500 for a catch-up contribution if you're over 50 in 2020 and 2022, and they raised it $1,000 for 2023, so it's $7,500. So you could put up to, what is that? Last year you could have put up to 27,000 in your 401k, and this next year you can put up to almost $30,000. So it's a good way to defer money, especially if you're older in life and you haven't put a lot of money away. It's a good way to get a good amount of money set aside for your retirement. Now, people say, well, what about the employer contributions? Well, yes, there is employer contributions and they all do it differently, but with employer contributions into a 401k, you can't exceed $61,000 into that 401k in 2022 or $66,000 in 2023. So it's quite a bit of money. So a lot of my clients who are older, when they start hitting about 55, 56, 57, they start maxing out their 401ks because they've got the income to do it and they want to be able to max and get money for retirement. So the next one is SEPs and Simples, and those are usually for small businesses like yours, like all of you. The difference between a SEP and a Simple: a SEP stands for a simplified employee pension. And usually it's like a doctor who doesn't have any employees, or maybe a dentist with very few. So a business with very few employees who usually do this. So I have like a physical therapy group that has a SEP, and they have 2 owners who do the SEP. And why would you do this? Because one of the advantages is, or you could think it was a disadvantage, the employees cannot make contributions to a SEP. Only the employer can put money into the SEP. But if the employer does have a couple of employees, they have to put the same amount in their account as they do their own. So if they put $6,000 in their SEP for the year, they have to put $6,000 in for their employees. So that's why a lot of companies don't do SEPs, because it can get expensive for them if they don't want to do that much dollar amount in contributions. The contribution limits for SEPs are also a little bit different. It cannot exceed the lesser of 25% of their compensation, or $61,000 for 2022, or $66,000 for 2023. The next one is a simple. I have quite a few simple plans. These are simple, stands for Savings Incentive Match Plan for Employees. That's a big mouthful. Why do people do simples? Because it's easier than a 401k. It doesn't cost anything to set it up. I have a accounting firm that does a simple. She has 5 employees. Employees can make contributions into a simple, and employers do make a match inside of a simple. Not to get in the weeds, but there's a couple of ways for the employers to do contributions. They can do a non-elective 2% of compensation of the employees, or they can do 100% up to the first 3% of compensation. So they could do 1%, 2%, or 3%. Contributions for that is only $14,000 in 2022. It goes up to $15,500 in 2023. And the catch-up contributions are a little bit different. It's $3,000 for catch-up contribution for somebody age 50 or older. And then they just increased that to $3,500 in 2023. And then the last one I want to talk about is funding insurance policies. It's a way for people that make over $200,000 in compensation to put away quite a bit of money in a shorter period of time. And there's a couple of caveats to it. It's obviously income is tax-free with the death benefit, and the cash value can be used as an income stream. So I'm going to give you an example. So a 59-year-old client of mine, he's going to put $20,000 into this policy for 10 years. So the death benefit right away, as soon as he puts in the first $20,000, is $203,000. So if he dies the next day, his family gets $203,000. The death benefit at age 70 goes up a little bit. It's about $780. I'm sorry, $280,000 once he hits age 70 after the 10 years of paying. But the cash value is what you got to look at. So at age 70, when he decides to retire, he's going to have a cash value of $238,000 that he can take an income stream off of tax-free. Doesn't have to pay any money on it. So that's one of the benefits of funding an insurance policy and using an insurance policy that way. So there's all the different ways that you can invest. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know.
Outstanding. All right, Karen, thank you. I appreciate that. Return hosting to me at your convenience, in case anyone's been sitting there waiting to log on. Whoops. Marcel has a question for you, I think.
How do I give host back to you?
On the participant screen, just mouse over me.
Make host. Okay, there you go.
Make host. Thanks.
Okay, here's my doodle.
Hey, that's good.
My question is, the money that comes from the SEP, you said that was from employers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where does that money come from? Does that come from like their slush fund? Does it come from their savings? Does it come from revenue from 5 years prior? Like, where does that employer pull that money from? Or is it just any money they have? It gets pulled for that little bucket.
They pull it from their sales or cost of doing business. So they take it straight off of what they make for the business. So it becomes a tax incentive. It becomes a tax incentive for the business, in addition as a tax incentive for the employee.
That's how businesses justify doing that, because of the tax incentives.
Very cool.
It's not just coming out of a discretionary fund.
Yeah, well, it's not coming out of a discretionary fund.
I also want to point out the spider is very happy that you're all here today, and he's planning for retirement because he's working with KK Financial Solutions.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Karen, I want to hit you with a question that I'm sure you'll expect from me. what separates you from every other financial advisor that I throw a stone in any directions and I might hit a spider or two, but probably I'll hit 3 of you. So what separates you from everyone else?
Well, I'm Karen. I mean, nobody else is me, right? No, I'm just kidding. So
Oh.
I like to work with primarily business owners like yourself because I enjoy giving and telling and having you understand all the different incentives that you can have as a business owner. And then I like to work with women as well and divorced. I didn't talk about this, and divorced people because I was divorced in 2005, walked away with a large sum of money and lost it, or didn't really lose it, but right before the housing market crashed. So I put all of it into the house. And if I would have had a financial advisor or somebody who was advising me during my divorce, I don't think I would have done that. Yeah. So my financial picture would look completely different. So it's business, women, divorced. So it doesn't exclude men because you are all business owners. So.
Yep. And you also have a unique certification, correct? That most don't in your field. Can you go a little deeper into that?
Yeah. So it's called a certified divorced financial analyst. So I actually went through courses and training for that. I'm also Series 7 and 66 licensed, and I have my insurance license in both Washington and Arizona. So I've gone through a lot of training to do what I do.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, and I love the layers of specificity that you cover because it's not often talked about. It's sort of the dirty little shame about divorce and everything else, and you're able to take care of them. So I think that's brilliant. Any other questions for Karen today?
Where can people find your book?
Oh yeah.
So you can go onto my website and go through my website at kkfinancialsolutions.us, or you can go to Amazon. It's also on Amazon. Or if you would like me to sign your book, just let me know and I can send you a copy from my house in Arizona.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen.
All right. I am trying to bring up a screen. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Thanks for technology once again. All right. So if no one else has any questions, that's okay. But I want to also encourage something that we don't often talk about in digital PNA. If someone's local to you, have a one-to-one with them. If not, have a Zoom meeting with them. Spend an hour. It's called a one-to-one if that's an alien concept to you. Half hour about Jim, half hour about me. Get to know each other as people first, what we do, what we like, things like that, and then potential either business opportunities or opportunities to educate one another on what our needs are, especially given that it's, I don't know, mid-January. A lot of people have new goals, new refresh ideas. Maybe they got nowhere to go with up. Whatever the case is, let's help each other. Let's always constantly be lifting versus pulling. So with that being said, we go a little deeper in the speech breakout session in digital PNA than anywhere else. I'm going to share screen really quickly and bring that bad boy up. So let's talk about target market. What people or businesses would need our presenter today, Karen, who'd need her services? Can we think of specific target markets?
Obviously, people going through divorce.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. That can be rough.
Single business owners.
Single business owners, yeah. As in single solopreneurs, yeah.
Unmarried.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Bob, and it can even be people that are contemplating divorce, because there's a lot of women that are contemplating divorce and they don't execute it because they don't think that they can financially. Mm-hmm. So when they talk to someone like me, I can map it out for them.
It's not just women thinking that.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, I do women and men, so either one. So, but I can't represent like the husband and wife at the same time.
No, it's helping them finance an exit strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, I also think, and this is a bit of a generic answer regarding anyone that's involved in the financial industry, but people that have left jobs, big, high-paying jobs or even mediocre jobs, but they've got a 401k sitting there. And sometimes they forget. One of the brick and mortar chapters, they had a guy, he had been out of his big old job for 3 years and he totally forgot he had a 401. That was just sitting there, wasn't doing anything, wasn't growing. And he finally, got to give that person, that financial that financial advisor's business, and she was mad at him. She was just like, all this opportunity you've missed. So remember, if you leave businesses, especially during this pandemic, you gotta take those financial interests with you. You gotta keep them rolling, keep them managed. Anyone else under target market? Okay. Ideal partners, collaborative ideas. Who do we think? And Karen, we'll let you chime in on this too. Who do you collaborate with well? Not poorly, of course.
And I want to go back just a hair. Her book is good for any woman in business who feels overwhelmed by her male counterparts and wants to compete, kind of get caught up, find that inner confidence. Any woman who's really dealing with, no offense, gentlemen, that male ego and that rough and tough world out there. Like, her book is very inspiring for women who are needing to be more competitive, I would say.
It's a great point. Excellent point. Thank you, Marcel. Okay.
So I collaborate well with mortgage brokers. So who's the gal in our group?
Amy Van Buren.
Yeah, Amy. And I've been trying to get a one-on-one with her. We keep missing each other. And then actually I can work with can't think of her name either. Courtney. So Courtney too, even though she sells insurance, she sells a different type of insurance. So it's a good, she's a good partner for me too.
And you don't have to be locked into any one person that does what either of them do, correct? Because you're just bringing more resources, more value to the table.
Yep.
Okay.
I would think also like life coaches, therapists, divorce, grief coaches, anybody that's on that healing journey with a lady would be able to refer them to you to now get their money straight.
Definitely. Definitely. Okay.
Well, even money coaches. So I've done a lot of one-on-ones lately with people who just money coach. I mean, I do a little bit of that depending on what my client wants. But so I kind of take them after they go through the money coaching, especially if they have some investable assets, and then I can have them on the investor side. So, like I said, there's three or four branches to my company where I can do investments, I could do financial planning, I can do the insurance piece, and then help people with divorce. So
Karen, do you actually ever get referrals from bookkeepers or CPAs?
I do.
Okay.
I work
so
with
those would be good as well. And then
of course, really
law.
why is because they can see the the money going through those.
They're in the buckets. Yeah.
They can see the money, buckets of money, and how, or usually they're wanting to help save their clients money, and putting money into a SEP or a simple, or doing an owner 401k or something like that will help them.
Okay, excellent. Thank you for that. All right, beneficial syndications. Karen, if you didn't already put it in the chat window, give us a link to your book. This is, again, a situation where we can help elevate her exposure from the standpoint of getting that book out to our networks. And often it's not who we know, it's who we know might know, right? That tier 2 and tier 3 level beyond. Do you have any specific blogs or anything else that you would like us to, consider reading and sharing with our network? If so, go ahead and put that out there. Okay.
Yep.
Kudos to our presenter. Any suggestions for future presentations, things we liked in particular? I'm going to stop share here. Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'm basically, and I wrote down the note during your presentation, I'm kind of in the Brian Trendler camp here, is you gave us all the information about, 401k, SEPs, and, all the different categories and the rules that apply to those. But we can find that information anywhere. That's what I really want to know is what is different about doing business with you, because then that enables me to be able to talk to other people and say, oh, you need to call Karen because not because she knows the rules, but because there's something different about her, something that she brings. You're certified divorce financial specialist. I may have got the title wrong there because I write slowly and people speak quickly, but that would be interesting to have information about too, so that, because so many people go through divorce, or like you say, would like to get divorced and don't know if they can do it. So even that little golden nugget that you said, they may still be married, but they're thinking about an exit strategy and don't get divorced because they don't think they can afford it. There's a ton of people in that category. So something along those lines that differentiates you. That's what I would really like to hear the next time your turn
Okay.
comes.
Thank you, Bob. Ross, you had something, your hands up?
Yes, I do. I would like to offer kudos on covering an incredibly wide array of financial options and products.
Yeah.
I will echo Mr. Wolverton on the idea of bringing the divorce specialty certification out first. I also might suggest that somewhere in there you have something around qualifying a prospective referral or client, because I know for my part, just listening to you, from you're working, you've got all that knowledge in the conventional financial options for retirement, and I probably don't qualify for any of them.
Okay.
All good points,
So.
Ross. Thank you. Mike, good to see you. You missed the best presentation we've ever seen since the beginning of time.
My apologies
Sorry.
to Karen. I
Yeah.
apologize. I've been thinking a lot about you, Karen, because I want to get that book into our network, get the book sold in our network as well. And I missed this opportunity. So sorry.
No,
Well,
that's
you're
fine.
being recorded right now. So we have this to use against you, and you
Right.
can now go back and watch the entire presentation. So excellent. It's
Aaron,
good to see you.
And I want to say excellent on your media bling page. That authority building,
Yeah.
those visuals to me are really remarkable, and I've seen you grow and you've done so great. When you come to PNA, I want you to think about, I am a sales trainer and a financial, planner, because you are training us to go to bat for you. The SCP was the least familiar I was, so I did my little doodles around the SCP and trying to define, what that is. But what do you want us to do with that, right? I'm talking to women all the time about social media and revenue and growth and launch. What is that 1, 2, or 3 question I can ask to say, hey, are you working with a certified divorce? Train us to sound like your sales team. That's my one encouragement, because I think a lot of us would go to bat for you if we knew exactly what to say. So we were like, so I got this gal, give us, help us, train us to really go to bat for you, because we will.
Yeah.
But great job. Loved it. So
yeah, I'd like to mirror what everyone has said and also challenge Karen. Karen, I know you've worked with some really cool clients, unless you've been lying to me for years. I know you've done some really remarkable things. So I want to challenge you to use this digital PNA environment to have fun with it. And maybe you compose 1 or 2 advertisements that you've done with that media company, and you can have that as a quick show and tell, and then showcase 1 or 2 or 3 clients you've had. And guess what? Make one of them a failure, where something went wrong, and maybe you couldn't work with them until they get to a certain point and whatever, because your ability to turn away a client, or maybe you couldn't serve them best, so you handed them over to another specialist, whatever. Those types of things, quote unquote, are failures, but they resonate more with a lot of people, myself included in that, because it shows to me your character and your skills and your honesty, right? Because everyone's like, I'm a fiduciary this. Well, guess what? I'm a fiduciary graphic designer with one of my companies. So I'm not going to do crappy work for someone. Just take those types of components that I know are really the makeup of who you are as an amazing individual and an owner of your own financial institution. Hot damn. But you still have those ups and downs. So bring those 3 scenarios to the table one time and see where that takes you as well, right? So, all right. Any other feedback for Karen? If not, we'll move to the last section, which is simply, what other businesses? Oh, yeah, Bob, go ahead.
My hand was up.
It was sort of up. It's more like a blinding white.
It's in the corner, but it's in the white part. That's what we're supposed to
Oh, I see what you're doing. You're reinforcing the hand.
Yeah, I'm trying to change. I should change the skin tone or something so it doesn't wash out. Just a really quick question, Karen, qualifying question. Do you have a minimum dollar amount? I know some financial advisors do have a minimum qualifying to work with them. Do you have a minimum number?
I was just talking to a client about this last night. I have a minimum in my head, but I don't necessarily share it because it depends. I usually try to qualify the client through a conversation with them, and because there is a dollar amount of somebody in an account that it ends up costing me more money to have the account than it does to open it. So it really depends. So.
Okay.
the reason I asked, I've come across financial advice as a minimum $1 million.
Yeah,
like,
no,
they
I
don't have a
mean,
million, I don't
I
waste it.
don't, I try not to do that because it really, again, depends, because you have, a lot of people will come to me and say, I don't have any investable assets. And then I start asking them questions and I find all kinds of money. So it's, so like where Ross says he doesn't think that he would qualify for any of those, I bet that he does. He probably does in some instances because, you know, background or whatever you're doing. So that's kind of why I went into Here They Are, because a lot of small businesses don't think that they can have a separate simple, but they can. Those are the
That would
perfect
be a
ones for them.
That would be a great presentation topic.
Mhm.
Yep. And for that, Bob earned this reaction on my screen. Great idea, Bob. Okay, so we're going to segue, sort of, maybe transition, whatever, to the last section, which is what are the businesses can we bring in to this group, keeping in mind this is a digital environment, right? And not dependent on one zip code, but, and heck, she's in freaking Arizona. What other businesses can we bring in that might help her referral network grow? And of course, potentially all of ours.
CPA, divorce attorney,
Yep.
life coach.
Life coach, yeah.
Definitely. Anyone else? And Karen, if we're forgetting something, forgetting one that's completely obvious or we're just missing it, please let us know.
Mhm.
Okay.
How about a hairstylist or like a fashion consultant? They're helping women in transition. We could get like,
Well, and that's where
stuff
it's
in
like
here.
really, I don't want to say everybody, but it's any small business. A lot of hairdressers don't think that they need a separate simple, or, you know, a nail technician who owns her own business inside of a hair salon doesn't think that they can have these things. And it's like, you can open up even just a traditional IRA, but then once your business gets bigger, do a separate simple, you know, because it doesn't cost anything to get it set up. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And don't hairstylists basically know the business of all their clients?
Yes, that's just what Ross said. They talk, you know,
Bob,
you
you
talk to your hairdresser.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, in the chat. Yep.
You
Bob, do
talk
you
to your
actually know
nails
any
technician, yes, and you tell them things that you
That's
don't
why
tell
I
other people.
I
Okay.
don't know.
We're moving on. Okay. All right. So let's see here. You know, not being president for a whole year and then now taking it over, I forgot how many things we have to do simultaneously to get this stuff to work here.
I'm very relaxed just watching you.
I was going to say, just
instead of me doing it all.
just watching me suffer here through multiple screens and everything else. All right. So next up, I get to hit share here and you get to wash out my face here with the big bright screen. We are, you know, kind of with that being said, as far as a segue, just remember, we are looking for multiple more businesses to bring into this digital environment. This is just a snapshot of some of the ones that quite honestly think on a regular basis that they can't be part of a networking group. We're trying to bust out that mold. Copywriters, copy editors, I would kill for those people. Look in your network, please. Because between three of my businesses, I could use them for each and every one of them. Digital artists, I'm just calling out some of my favorites, right? Event planner, stuff all over the Pacific Northwest. A cartoonist, I need one right now. I don't have someone that's really, really good at drawing caricatures. 3D modeler, voiceover artist, stuff like that. Think outside the box, right? And go find these people. Let's harken back to that second screenshot of mine today where I'm going to pay incentives as well if you can introduce people to the DigitalPNA network. So please keep that in mind. Keep your eyes and ears open out there. And then, of course, the categories that we've mentioned for Karen's business. Let's help grow her ideal referral network. Referrals or testimonials. Not going to leave this screen up because we just read it. But I'd love it if anyone does have a referral or testimonial. We're going to go around the digital room here again. I'll call out names. I have something to share, but I'm going to wait until the very end. If anybody has a referral or a direct testimonial, now's the time to speak or forever hold your pieces. Let's start with Bob. Put him on the spot. Dun, dun, dun.
You know, I don't have a referral or a testimonial, but I did do a one-on-one with Lynette on Monday, and we had booked basically a half hour, and we went well over an hour. I mean, she was very interesting to talk with, find out about her business, and you know, she's got a lot of connections, so I think that she's going to be a valuable asset to this organization.
That's
unfortunately she couldn't be here today.
Okay, thank you. Ross, you had something? Your appropriately colored hand is up, and okay.
No referrals, sorry.
That's
But
okay.
definitely a testimonial from Marcel and her patients in the help that she's offered me in her special field, and getting me acquainted with PNA and how you do what you do, and which chapter might be appropriate for which of my businesses. This one, I'd be offering online business tool, basically softwares as services that I'm affiliated with. In the locals, I'd be doing my notary public business, and I'm thinking that I will start there first, probably. So
Awesome.
thank you, Marcel.
Yeah, thank
You
you.
are so welcome. And thank you for showing up to the revenue ringlet calls and giving me feedback and doodling the data with me and being a part of that. I'm grateful for you. And also to Brian and Karen, another shout out for your book. I think all women, even men, could benefit from this book, because you never know what you don't know. And to be such a disciplined leader like Karen has been over the years is really quite remarkable. And I know I could use more discipline. So if you know anybody that needs discipline, go buy them her book and she will help magic happen. So, oh, and a shout out for Mike. So we saw Mike yesterday at the Mill Creek Chamber. Him and his business colleague were there. They did a great speech, and I got a cute hat. So thank you. Mike, I got your email. I will write you back today. I promise to get you on your calendar. I'll come down and visit. So, and
Physics.
and Jim, it's nice to see you as always, and I can't wait to see you and Carla on the next cruise. So
Awesome.
Yep. And
Marcel.
likewise, a shout out to you, Marcel, and Brian for introducing me to Jay at I Am Third Media, which it was soon to be, I think, a terrific conversation. And also, Karen, as I mentioned in a dialogue with you, I want to get you in front of a couple of life coaches and success coaches that I know of, Success Street Coaching and Advice Actually, both of whom I think would be potentially terrific partners for you.
Okay.
Outstanding. Very good. Marcel, I hope you're tracking all this traffic here. Yeah.
Well, and I know I said this
Your
before,
spreadsheet.
but I actually closed the business and put the down payment on my trip, me and my sister's trip to Italy for next year with Ricardo. So
Congratulations.
before it was in the preliminary stages, now it's finalized, and I'm trying to. So Jim, I'm trying to hook up with Ricardo so I can give him money.
That
We
guy.
keep missing each other. I don't know if he's not getting my emails or what.
So is it ironic? It's like two ships passing in the night.
I know it is.
Hey, there we go. Karen, you're going on our cruise too, right? The PNA cruise.
Yeah, and I need to go look at that link that you did. So
Yeah. Well, just
because I missed it.
Just go on to PNAnw.com and click the cruise 2024 thing at the top right. Okay. Anyone else have referrals, testimonials? I got one or two, but I'll wait. Go ahead.
I'll go again because I'm chatty. Bob, thank you for bringing a video today. Part of DigitalPNA is bringing a video. You're the first person that actually has 2 videos shared for the new year. So thank you for making videos.
Show off. I mean, yay. Good job.
Are you talking about my videos on LinkedIn? Oh, okay. That's what I do.
It's what he does, peeps. All right. Yeah, and folks, if you have not subscribed to youtube.com/ whatever it is, @PNAnw, they make it weird, but that is our new handle. I figured out what was going on. For some reason, they have to have the damn @ in there. So please go subscribe to that page. And there is a video, a specific video. I would love it if people would consider sharing out to their networks. And I actually recorded it during the holiday Christmas party, but this link is something I'd love people to share out. It's just 4 or 5 testimonials. People, I literally threw them against the wall. Some of them thought they were being arrested because we're right next to the police station, but nope, I just wanted to get interviews. One person on the line right now on the call here today, his didn't get in because unfortunately there were some recording problems. So if Jim ever wants to do another one, I can take a time out with him and record a new one. But anyway, that particular testimonial video has had a fair amount of traffic, and people, you know, it says a bunch of good things about PNA Northwest. I want to thank Mike and BizX because of the exposure that LaughTech is slowly getting, and it's exposure that we wouldn't have gotten any other way because of the uniqueness of the BizX network. So I think it's fascinating, and I gave them a kudo during the Mill Creek Chamber event yesterday. Doesn't matter, but point is, it's a really neat marketing engine that they have. So I'm very thankful for the relationship we formed with BizX. Looking forward to seeing where we can take it in the new year. Marcel for always driving me, whether willingly or not, into new opportunities to expand my business with her ideas. And I joke and say bossiness, but it's because she's wicked smart, people. If you've not been part of the revenue ringlet, you're missing out. I'm just going to say that. If you have it, and like me, you haven't had a ton of time yet to dive into it, get off your tuckus. And that's advice for me. If you don't know anything about it, then figure it out with Marcel, become part of the Revenue Ringlet project in your own rights. But it's an incredible series of online modules and training, and she is a real inspiration. So she did not pay me for that endorsement, although I might give her my Venmo handle. We'll see. And then last but not least, I want to give a kudos to, again, all of the work that Expedia Cruises PNA members, Jim and Ricardo, have done to make the 2024 March trip possible. We are booking cabins like gangbusters. Really excited about that. And I will put the link in the chat window just for the sake of conversation. If you want to learn anything else about it before you contact Ricardo or Jim, please do.
I put that in there already. But
you already did?
Put it again.
Nice. All right. Well, I need to go find it then to repaste it. But yeah, connect with them. Take a look at the information on the webpage. If you click register, that allows you to become part of the locking in your cabin rates and your low deposit per person. It's $100 per person, so 200 total to lock in a cabin rate. The seminar itself is a different price that's further down. The speakers are highlighted in the seminar prices. Those will go up slowly over time, so lock it in now. Lock it in now, please. Pure and simple. I'm the worst salesman ever. Don't want you to spend a lot of money. Spend the 200 now versus more later. So if you have any questions, reach out to me regarding that, or Jim regarding the cruise itself. So back to the slides, people. Dun, dun, dun. Our next speaker is actually unknown. That's my fault. I need to readdress the speaker schedule and take a look at things. I believe I need to hear from Ricardo or Jim very soon from the speaking rotation. So I need to take a look at the calendar, but Jim, you might make a heads up note that it's gonna be one of you on that date, more than likely. And then I think I'm gonna circle back to Marcel and make a determination based off of current members who will put on the calendar next. So just a quick update there. You know, I don't really want to share screen again, but I think I have to. So much work. These are some of the events that we talked about. I'll put the new link on this, but I'll make it available to folks in an email. All the information is available for the cruise, and the comedy night is Friday night for anyone local. That's not applicable to everyone here on the line, though. So I didn't do anything awe-inspiring with that slide. This is the cruise information. I'm not going to cover it right now. I seriously just want to encourage folks to jump onto the actual website itself, PNAnw.com, click on the cruise link and learn all about it. Unless people have any questions now, I guess I can open it up super quick. Look, seeing nothing. Okay, no worries. I do want to bring up membership. This is the membership price for all new members. It's $1,200 a year. You can make quarterly payments if you'd like to make kind of the cost to get involved a little bit less. And there were some people, in fact, most of you on the line here got in at the $600 rate, which was the first, basically half of the first of the year of 2022 as we launched this. You're still able to pay quarterly for this year if you'd like to at $150 per quarter versus $300 per quarter. And again, there's a $100 referral bonus if you bring in anyone into the organization that you know will benefit. I will happily give you a thank you note in the case of a Benjamin. If anybody has any questions about that, just ask me. But realistically, I just need an introduction, and I'll do the rest of the legwork. Okay. We do not have much else on the calendar now because we're missing 3 people today. We're a little
How
bit.
about events, upcoming events and sharing?
Yeah, I was just going to say, really, all that we have left is events. Anybody has anything they want to bring to the table? Otherwise, let's do some open networking. Anybody has any questions or want to ask each other questions? We can discuss stuff. This rarely happens. We're 20 minutes.
Ahead of schedule. I'll share. So LaughTech this weekend in Mill Creek, we're doing an inspiring improv event where if you are hesitant with video and you're not quite sure where to start, we're going to teach 2 very specific improv techniques to help you get over that fear of turning the camera on, and then one to help make your content not suck. So that's also difficult. So that is free downtown Mill Creek at I Am Third place. So Mike, if you want to come see where Jay works, Jay's actually hosting that as a Mill Creek event.
Which day? That's this weekend?
Saturday, yeah, I think
Saturday.
it's 10 to 11:30.
Great.
It's
Wonderful.
literally right downstairs from where our old office was.
Fantastic idea. Great.
Any other events coming up? Oh, comedy night this Friday if you're in town in Mill Creek. Brian, I'm stealing your thunder.
That's fine. That's fine. I actually wanted to share really quickly also. A few weeks back, I posted a picture online. I was pointing to a sign called Maestro. Anyone know what Maestro is? Off the top of your heads, anybody? Marcel, you know, of course, good heavens. Maestro is a company that actually created the first fully functional online bidding and auctioneering tool. It's actually called Maestro Soft. How have they not been sued by Microsoft yet? I don't know, for like weird looking name infringement, but it's a really remarkable tool. Whether people were stuck during the pandemic using it, which it served to be an amazing tool, but it's literally 20 some odd years old. It's also great for financial institutions like, not financial institutions, educational institutions. It's a whopping $1,500 to purchase the Maestro Soft package. And that's the cost of 3 sponsors on average when it comes to school districts, private or public, getting funding for events. And point is that about a year and a half ago, the team at Maestro Soft opened up a new division, which is basically grab auctioneers, X amount of auctioneers, train them to be Maestro Soft skilled representatives, which is a nice way of saying dangerous enough to just know the basics, introduce organizations to Maestro Soft or Maestro Soft, or be able to be brought in by them into companies already using the software. Hence, they can be used as the guaranteed auctioneer to help raise the funds by 10% because of the skill sets behind the software. So I am in the process of being certified. I'm very thrilled about this. I'll be one of only 2 or 3 in the entire Pacific Northwest, which is like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states, whatever. That means that they're going to also find opportunities for me, ship me all over the place, which could be a great problem to have. I'm surprisingly flexible. I make a great carry-on. But if anyone, especially in other states, hello, Karen, if you start running into educational organizations, nonprofits that want to have an amazing package from the standpoint of what the software can do, it's not just online. You can completely take it offline on a laptop, be at the event itself for the physical auction. It does everything. Pricing, bid cards, all the bells and whistles and stuff. And, it's just a remarkable tool. There's a lot of incentives for folks to utilize that software and get support from a Maestro Soft engineer. And then, of course, an auctioneer like myself that could be brought into the event. So I will travel. Anyway, it's cool. I'm happy about that.
It's very cool. Hey, so I've got another need/request. So for open networking, I'll just toss this out there. But I've been tasked to interview 50 people, 15-minute videos on kind of the revenue ringlet, trying to find that right ideal client avatar. I've done 10, I got 40 more to do. But if you are building a body of work and books, courses, speeches, that's part of your jam, that's part of your skill set and what you're doing. And if you're willing to give me 15 minutes of time to ask you about your journey, I would be so grateful. And let me know if you're willing to do that in the next maybe 2 or 3 days, even just quick phone call.
That's great. Thank you, Marcel. Anyone else have anything going on? Want to have something going on? Okay, excellent. Well, like I said, this is rare that we're this early as far as through the schedule.
Yeah. Well, and I also want to ask Karen, because you were like my reels friend that did more at first, and then now I've done a bunch. But I kind of want to co-teach a class because I've done a bunch now, and I'm like, this is amazing. And I don't want to do it alone necessarily because I'm not like an expert. I'm just like finally in the game and I have excitement in some, I don't know if I'd call it success or just I've had some results. But I'm like, would that interest people to learn about Reels on Instagram on a Zoom webinar? Bob's like, no. Karen's like, Karen, would you want to co-teach it with me since you've done a ton? And even the lesson of like not losing your account, because I'm so much about protecting people. Does anybody else want to learn Reels, Jim? No? Do you know what a Reel is? Mike, maybe. Ross, maybe. Brian, maybe. Bob was in it. Okay, that's helpful. I think Reels are really fascinating. So,
Well, it's also nice that you're beginning to, what am I trying to say? Earn a little bit of residual income from.
I'm getting paid.
So yeah, so you're starting to get that side of it, which is dangerously close to calling you an influencer. In that case, we will be required to have a secret handshake and a salute.
Well, and my encouragement, if you guys don't think you have a pretty face or whatever, my videos that are doing great are of seals, seagulls, and random cool shit I find and take a 7-second video of. So you do not have to have perfect teeth or great eyes or whatever. Like you can just be in cool places and start to capture that. If you have any bit of wisdom and or good music choice, apparently you can do cool things.
I say the music choice definitely helps, especially if it's one of the trending songs, because falls into that big.
My last one, it was like 5 seconds, just
yeah.
It doesn't, and that's the mystery is what I want to teach about. Not that here's the A to B to C, but like, hey, once you get involved and you dive in, you're gonna start having results one way or the other.
Can I just can I put Mike on the spot really quick? This is definitely be considered a complete tangent here. Mike, don't you have a promotion going right now in general for new BizX members? If they, well, I guess if once they are a BizX member, if they refer people in, don't they also get an additional incentive? Am I wrong?
Yes.
Or?
We ran a promotion that ended at the end of December, but which is to say that it's not gone away.
Okay.
Because there's that nebulousness of promotions, or whether if they work, you stick with them.
Yeah.
And the idea is that if you are a BizX member and you refer somebody else to the network, that referrer gets some free BizX dollars in the account. And remember, BizX is a network that has an internal currency that you can spend. The referee likewise gets free BizX dollars to start their account.
Gotcha.
And there is a typical initiation fee, a startup fee, and that gets cut in half.
Cool.
Like any network like DigitalPNA, the best growth tends to be organic in that you refer somebody who you think would be of both of value to the network and find net value in the network. And we're hopeful to incentivize that. The incentive itself has been welcome, but it just sparks the idea of asking yourself, who do I know that might benefit from being in a network?
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. And I should give him a kudo as well, because I didn't think that Laugh Tech would be honestly successful through BizX in any capacity. And it's not because of BizX. It's because I didn't think that anyone would want to engage with us off of that platform, because there's so many. Actually, we barely even dipped our foot in the pool with the 2,500 some odd members throughout the Pacific Northwest that are part of BizX. And there's so many opportunities. We've just gone out, frankly, to a couple of restaurants and damn near eaten free because it's been a BizX transaction, right? But there's a lot of opportunity out there. So I encourage everyone to have a one-to-one with Mike and find out if it would be a good fit, because he pretty much has a case study for darn near every type of business type.
Yeah, we are in fact working on something that I'd love to get out there that sort of applies a segment by segment approach to whether something like this would work. It works better for some things than others, but I have to say, again, in that organic sense, what BizX is, and like in many other networks, it's a construct of people who want to grow their business, and therefore they're interested in things like how to be better speakers, or how to communicate better, or how to do reels, or how to get their financial situation in order. It tends to be people who are creative, collaborative, and want to grow. So that's not the prerequisite, but it is the end result.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Mike. Does anyone have anything else that they want to ask a member here or our guest Ross or anything? Okay. Let's go ahead and bring the meeting to a close. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Ross, again, thank you for being our guest. I appreciate you taking the time and experiencing this. Remember, this is the first and third Wednesday of each month. So technically, that's really hard to remember. I've had a hard time remembering it, but I'm creating the events and getting them out as quickly as I can and sending out the reminders. I'm hopefully not annoying anybody, but I'm just reminding people. And if anybody has any questions or needs, please reach out to me or Marcel, again, pretty much co-creator or the creator. I'm the co-creator of DigitalPNA. But again, thank you all, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.
Thank you. Sorry for being late again.
No worries. Take care, everyone.
See ya.